This one on its head. And it's his chance. He really is wild from the Montenegro man, who looks a bit...
Other than that, Hrgovic has not given much away at all.
I don't get the feeling Radonjic...
It's very, very rarely he's not in a position to punch as well. Good right uppercut there from Hrgovic.
Reaching in.
Filip Hrgovic is often described in boxing circles as the kind of heavyweight who doesn't just enter the ring, he enters the existential crisis of his opponent's self-confidence. Hailing from the scenic landscapes of Croatia, it's almost as if he absorbed the scenic aggression of the Adriatic Sea, only to unleash it later with a knack for uppercuts that seem personally offended by his rival's attempts to remain conscious. Hrgovic, often carrying the moniker Stone Man, has spent his professional journey treating boxing rings like construction sites, laying down the law with a workman's precision and an absence of small talk, befitting a man who prefers his statements to be made with gloves rather than words. But let's talk numbers. Oh wait, we can't. Just know that he's been winning. A lot. And knocking people out in ways that make insurance agents gather in prayer circles. If you're wondering if Hrgovic is good, let's rephrase that. If you're a heavyweight boxer not named Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk, your parents probably worry every time Hrgovic's name comes up on a fight card. That's because his style is all business, and his business model consists primarily of rapid right hands, unyielding forward momentum, and a kind of psychological pressure more commonly seen in overbearing in-laws. His style isn't just about brute force. Although let's be real, he's got enough strength to make refrigerators reconsider their career choices. Hrgovic mixes the classic Eastern European school of boxing, meaning he stands tall, throws long punches, and doesn't waste energy on things like stepping backward. Instead, he deploys a straight right hand so reliable that you might suspect he's sponsored by the concept of inevitability. Opponents often describe his approach as relentless, strategic, and uncomfortably efficient. The man throws combinations with the flair of someone who enjoys math, but only as long as it involves subtraction, subtracting consciousness, points, or the will to continue from his adversaries. Notably, Hrgovic has the kind of amateur pedigree that makes Olympic medalists sigh nostalgically. Back in the good old days, before he decided that headgear was a distraction and 3-round bouts were for people with hobbies, he tore through the amateur scene, collecting medals, trophies, and the unspoken promise that he would one day make professionals weep softly into their mouthguards. His Olympic bronze wasn't just hardware, it was a warning label. And as if winning in the World Series of Boxing wasn't enough, he made a habit of reminding up-and-comers that the only series that matters is whether or not your corner will let you answer the bell after Hrgovic test drives his right cross on your face. Inside the ring, there's very little wasted motion, unless you count the panicked footwork of his soon-to-be defeated rivals. Hrgovic stalks, probes with the jab that serves as both a rangefinder and existential question. Why did you choose this career? It's not just brute force. His footwork is trickier than a politician's promises, and he showed a willingness to shift gears mid-fight, adjusting his tactics to exploit whatever opening his opponent mistakenly leaves open. Perhaps that's why, even when he fought larger names, seasoned veterans, or guys whose resumes included, well, not being knocked out yet, he treats every contest like a seminar. Today's lesson is entropy, and nobody leaves unscathed. Of course, every boxer, no matter how solid, occasionally tastes adversity. For Hrgovic, the rare setback doesn't prompt solemn introspection so much as a steely-eyed return to the gym, where he treats improvement like a personal vendetta. Those who defeated him seem to do so at significant personal cost, limping away like survivors of a slightly more glamorous bear encounter. But what makes Hrgovic fascinating isn't just his power or work ethic. It's the way he blends a granite-chin stoicism with technical acumen. His defense is sound, though there's always the boxer's eternal temptation to trade. When he gets drawn into firefights, fans get exactly what they paid for: heavy leather, big drama, and a sense that this is what heavyweight boxing was invented for, giving audiences cardiovascular incidents from A key to his success is adaptability. Watching Hrgovic is to witness a fighter who synthesizes old-fashioned toughness with modern ring IQ. He's learned plenty from his time sparring world-class fighters, including gleaning tactical wisdom from legends in the training gym. He doesn't rely on a single knockout punch. He applies pressure, maintains distance, and refuses to let opponents settle into a rhythm. This means most of his rivals spend the first few rounds solving riddles, then, with growing alarm, realize they're the ones being tested. Fans love this, of course, and not just because the guy can punch, though he can, and in ways you'll remember the day after. In a world outside the ring, Hrgovic carries a reputation for professionalism and modesty, no small feat in a division defined by outsized personalities and post-fight monologues longer than opera acts. He isn't flashy outside the ropes, he lets his fighting do the talking. His interviews are less about trash talk and more about dedication and the relentless pursuit of self-improvement, a quality that separates champions from social media influencers. His fans, particularly in Croatia, treat Hrgovic like a national treasure, if that treasure wore gloves and occasionally rearranged strangers' facial architecture for a living. A frequent topic among boxing journalists is whether Hrgovic is destined for a championship. And let's just say, the conversation isn't about if, but when. He's consistently ranked near the top by all the alphabet organizations, meaning it's only a matter of time before he gets more chances at golden belts and even glitzier press conferences. There are whispers about showdowns with the other heavy hitters in the division, matchups that would test both his skills and his ability to withstand even greater pressure. But if history is any indicator, his biggest problem won't be nerves, but finding worthy adversaries who are willing to say yes, much less survive the experience. Hrgovic has shown a remarkable resilience in handling different styles, whether they're brawlers, technicians, or guys who look like they accidentally wandered out of a rugby game. His durability is legendary. Nicknames like Stoneman don't come from a fondness for geology, and his stamina holds up, even in the late rounds, where so many heavyweights begin to resemble laundry that miss the spin cycle. There's a coolness in his corner, a sense that, whatever happens, the plan can be fixed, problem solved, and that the job isn't done until someone is looking at the lights or a referee steps between. There's artistry in the punishment, a strategic cruelty that never crosses into recklessness. Hrgovic does not gamble wildly, but when he takes risks, they are calculated with the precision of someone who knows exactly how hard he can hit and for how long. What about those who argue Hrgovic isn't the finished article? They might have a point. After all, the heavyweight division is a parade of new threats, taller, faster, hungrier guys joining the ranks each year. Yet, while improvements can always be made, Hrgovic has proven adept at closing the gaps in his arsenal. Whether it's head movement, combination speed, or the subtle adjustments that keep him steps ahead of the competition. More importantly, he brings a fighting spirit that can't be taught, a drive to dominate and grow that leaves fans confident he'll not just be remembered, but feared by the time he hangs up the gloves. And then there's the intangible, the sense of drama, the spectacle, the feeling that when Hrgovic fights, something memorable will happen. His stare-downs are glacial. His ring walks seem less like entrances and more like statements of intent. There's a gravity to his presence. Anchors drop, expectations rise, and the air thickens. If boxing is the theater of the unexpected, Hrgovic is the stagehand with a grudge, ensuring everything runs on schedule, even if it means some unscheduled trips to the canvas for his rivals. Now, it wouldn't be a true analysis without the satirical wink. Is Filip Hrgovic good? Let's put it this way. If heavyweight boxing was a family reunion, he's the cousin everyone hopes gets stuck in traffic. He's the guy you swear you could beat in an arm wrestling contest until you notice he's wondering if your head weighs more than a speed bag. Opponents often find themselves devising complicated plans to counter his power and pressure, only for those plans to last about as long as a New Year's resolution. The man is allergic to defeat, suspicious of boredom, and unreasonably fond of reminding people that their faces do, in fact, have off switches. And yet, perhaps it's the smile he saves for after the fight, when the gloves are off and the accolades roll in, that best summarizes him. a quiet acknowledgement that this, for him, is all just part of the job. Bruises heal, titles are won and lost, but legends are made in those moments when talent meets relentless effort. Hrgovic has made a habit out of manufacturing such moments and shows little sign of running out of raw materials anytime soon. Boxing fans and any poor souls manning the opposing corner would be wise to watch the continuing saga of the Stone Man. After all, you don't get second chances in this business, and as Filip Hrgovic has proven time and again, you don't often get a second round either.